Welcome to this video presentation of how to create automated system test scripts with NetBeans. Today we're going to be testing the Hangman software application. The Hangman case study is available from our course webpage. Click on Hangman case study and then SRS and then functional requirements. Then you can read the functional requirements for the application. We're going to be testing the features of the application at the end of the game. We want to be sure that the game properly terminates when the player wins and when the player loses. The theoretical model we're using is empirical testing. With empirical testing, we provide input data to the executing application. We then capture the actual results that are produced by the application. We know what the expected results should be, so we compare those to the actual results. If they match, we say the test passes. If there's a discrepancy between the actual results and the expected results, we say the test fails. If the comparison step is done by a human being, it's called manual testing. If the comparison step is done by a computer, it's called automated testing. If you're doing manual testing, the input data is provided by a human being using a keyboard and mouse or other manual input techniques. If you're doing automated testing, the input data is saved in a file and redirected to the application when it executes. In order to create an automated test, begin by creating a manual test. For the Hangman application, the desired tests are listed in the test matrix. The test matrix shows each requirement that we want tested and a link to the appropriate test case. For requirements C1 and C2, the corresponding test cases are shown here. The test case lists the purpose, such as verify that a player can win a game, a link to which requirement is being tested, a description of how to set up the test. To set up this test, we'll start the application in a testing mode that uses the word bandwidth as the hidden word. This is accomplished by typing this command on the command line, which starts the application, tells it which user interface to use, and provides a special flag which tells it to use our predefined hidden word. The rest of the test case describes the actions, the actual inputs that the tester has to provide, and what expected output should occur for each of those inputs. In the test case, to see if the game terminates properly when the player wins, we enter the correct characters in the hidden word, and then the application will inform us when we have won. Notice that we don't try all different possible ways to win the game. In theory, that should have been accomplished during integration testing. So we just need a fairly straightforward test to make sure that all the different aspects of the system are working in harmony together to produce the result which shows that the requirement has been met. We can now carry out this test manually using the application. Here I've opened the Hangman project inside the NetBeans IDE. By right-clicking on the project node and choosing Properties, we can go to the Run Properties, and we'll enter the arguments that are specified in the test case. Now when we run the project, it starts with a predefined secret word, and we'll enter on the keyboard the data specified in the test case. and it appears that the actual results from running the application match the expected output that we see in the test case. Now, the next step is to convert our manual test into an automated test. In order to create an automated test, we want all the input that's provided in the test case to be saved in a data file that can be read automatically by the application. And we want to save all the expected output in a data file that can be used to compare against the actual results. Within NetBeans, we declare two packages. Console data is the package which contains the files that have the test input data, and oracles is the package which has the files which contain the expected results. For example, test1.in has all the data that's specified in the test case in the input column. In the oracles package, test1.txt contains all the expected results that are shown in the expected output column in the test case. So now we have the input data in the expected results. So the last step is to create a script which will run the application using the data files we've provided. To accomplish this, we'll take advantage of NetBeans' built-in scripting tool, Ant. Click on the Files tab and click on the Build XML file. Scroll down until you reach the System Test section, and there's a target named System Test, SysTest. This target specifies using Java to run the application, and specifies that the input should be the console data input data file that we've created. The output is to be captured in another directory called results. The arg line provides the parameters we need to provide on the command line. Similarly for the second system test. Once the application is finished running, the script will run the Unix diff command. We tell the diff command that we want to compare the results file, test1.out, against the expected results file, test1.txt. The -y option says that we would like the output displayed side by side. So now the test script is prepared. To run the test script, right-click on Build XML, choose Run Target, and then SysTest. You can observe in the output window the execution of the script. The messages in red are the messages that are requested by the echo command inside the Ant script. If no error messages appear, then the test passed. Now let's introduce a defect into the application and see if it can be detected by our system test. We'll open the source packages and modify the console user interface class. In the output message, we'll add an extra word, super, that is not specified in the original requirements and is not anticipated by the expected results. Now we'll run the system test again. And we observe in the output window it says result 1. That's the message from diff telling us that there was a discrepancy when comparing the actual application's output against the expected results. We can determine what the discrepancies were by examining the contents of the diff results file. By looking at the diff results file, we see a vertical bar on any line where there's a discrepancy between what was produced by the application in the left-hand column and what was expected in the Oracle file in the right-hand column. So we see on this line a vertical bar, and by visually inspecting we see that the word super appeared in the actual results but not in the Oracle. As a result, the system test failed. If we correct our mistake and return the application to its original state, if we rerun the application system tests, we would expect them to pass. Now the output window doesn't show any error messages. So to review, to create an automated system test script, create an input data file that contains all the actual data that would be typed by a human tester. Then create an expected results file, an Oracle, that contains every single character that is expected to be produced when the application executes using the provided test input. Then provide an ant target and run the application. Use the input and output parameters to specify the desired input file and the desired output file. And then use diff or other utility that will compare the results. Now we have completely automated the process of system testing so that it's not necessary to have to manually provide input every time we want to run a test. That concludes this video presentation of creating automated system test scripts with NetBeans.